name is Lisa Craig, this is my informative speech, and this is my audience. There are so many disorders, diseases, and infections in our world that we are unaware of, but many times these issues are things that we should at least have a clue to what they are. I hope by hearing this presentation, you become more aware of the eating disorder Pica, and that you know the dangers of developing this disorder. I did many research on this subject, researched many websites, watched many programs on the topic of Pica, and have learned a lot about it. Pica is an eating disorder that many people are unaware of, and it's going to be the topic of my presentation today. I'm going to inform you on what exactly Pica is, what are some of the main items people consume while having this disorder, who is mostly affected, the risks of having this disorder, and the causes, and how to treat it. From WebMD.com, I found that the definition of Pica is the persistent eating of substances such as dirt or paint that have no nutritional value. I first found out about Pica in my Health 11 class while doing an independent health study. I like finding about different disorders and diseases that people are being diagnosed with all over the world. Pica is one disorder that I've never heard of before, and I found it to be very interesting. Pica isn't just eating paint and dirt, it's consuming all things such as baking soda, cornstarch, paper, toothpaste, and glue, and so many others. Pica is a serious issue because it is unhealthy and you can become very ill, and sometimes maybe even death can occur from consuming all these non-edible objects. There are many risks to this disorder as well. These include poisoning, choking, infections, bacteria and parasites, constipation, and blockages. Although this form of eating disorder is relatively new, more and more people are coming forward and talking to their doctor about their condition. The people who are mostly affected from this type of eating disorder are women and children, people who have developmental disorders, women who are pregnant, and people who crave a certain texture or taste in their mouths. Doctors don't know for sure what the cause of this disorder is, but they infer that it's just curiosity, people who have dietary problems, people with psychological conditions, and people who suffer from anorexia nervosa, which is defined at the website of thefreedictionary.com as when people, mostly young females, have a fear of growing obese, a distorted self-image, a persistent unwillingness to eat, and severe weight loss. Because doctors have not come up with a direct cause for this disorder, they cannot describe a specific treatment. Doctors can go about two ways of treating their patient. If doctors believe they developed this disorder because of dietary problems, they would try to change their diet and incorporate the iron zinc in their diet. When doctors believe that they develop Pica because of psychological issues, they would use the method CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, and attempt to change their eating habits as well. More and more people all over America are becoming more aware of this disease. Many shows have been putting on reality TV about this type of disorder. You may have heard of the show My Strange Addictions on the program TLC. One of the stories that I've heard on there is of a lady who liked the texture and taste of nail polish in her mouth. So what she would do is she would take nail polish and wipe it on her tongue. Another was she was going through a hard time after the loss of her husband and decided to have him cremated. After her husband was cremated, she would eat his ashes by licking her finger and sticking them in her mouth. Some stats that I have found over eating disorders and Pica is 3% of males and 6% of females struggle with an eating disorder. That I found from fox.emilyproductionfoundation.org. I also found that the total cost of hospitalizations for people with eating disorders in 2008 and 2009 was $277 million. Also, from 1999 to 2009, hospitalizations with patients suffering from Pica went from 13% to 93%. And in 9 in 10 cases of eating disorders occur among women. Those in men increased 53% in the last decade. There are so many things in our world that people don't know are out there. Pica is a serious issue, and I hope that by listening to my presentation, if you ever run into someone suffering from this eating disorder, that you are able to understand them and are able to get them the help that they need to survive before it's too late. Thank you.